I'm already a millionaire in my mind. I don't see it yet, but I believe it now. In the same way a seed is called by its finished form, I'm accepting my divine inheritance as a child of God. I'm meant to have life and have it more abundantly. My treasure on earth shall correspond directly to the treasure in the heaven of my mind. Abundance is my birthright. Ashe, amen, and so it is. My name is Julian Gordon, and I'm author of Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. After becoming a multimillionaire through real estate investing, I was moved by God at the beginning of the pandemic to share my money mindset that allowed me to quit my job in January of 2009 at the bottom of the last recession and achieve full financial freedom. I own my mental real estate before I own any physical real estate. This book is like some of your favorites: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, As a Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich, and the Bible all in one. But the divine downloads and thoughts that are in here are 100% original and came for a 6-month period at the beginning of the pandemic. This book is normally $100 on Amazon if you went there right now, but I want to give you access to it for free by inviting you to our next reading group. Yes, the reading group is 100% free. Every weekday for 100 days straight, I'll be reading and discussing the 10 money commandments in the book that make money come to you in your life easily, more frequently, and abundantly. And it will take about 30 to 45 minutes as we read 3 to 5 pages per day until we finish the book and reprogram your mind around money. Why 100 days? Well, if you are 30 years old, you've lived for 10,950 days. And we have to deprogram and reprogram the negative, scarcity-based money mindset society has taught you. And I believe I can do that in just 1% of the time in about 100 days. I'm done with shelf help. You know, when you buy a book to change your life, but you never read it, it just sits on your bookshelf and collects a whole bunch of dust. We off that. When is the last time you had an author actually read their book to you out loud because they cared about you getting the information in your soul? I'm not just here to get this book in your hands. More importantly, I want to get it in your head and your heart, because that's where the real transformation occurs, in the conscious and the subconscious mind. As scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is not the type of book that you just read once. To renew the subconscious mind requires repetition over and over and over. So if you joined us last time, I encourage you to join us again. I myself have read this book over 10 times already. So click the link to join our next reading group, and when you sign up, I'm going to give you the first 2 chapters of the book for absolutely free on what is money and abundance is your birthright, so that you can start your journey to a more abundant life today.
What's good, everybody? We right back at it, man. This is your boy Thavian with another day of the reading of the Rich and Righteous. We're on day 37. Day 37. If you're new and you're just tapping in, this is the 100-day challenge of the reading of the Rich and Righteous, where we're reading this book for 100 days until we finish to reprogram your mind to attract more money. For my return readers, happy to have you back, man. Staying disciplined, staying locked in. I appreciate that. We're moving right along, man. We're still in money commandment number 7, how the rich and righteous use money. And yesterday and the previous days, we did the 6 forms of capital. I want to make sure y'all tap in on that, because that's about, showing your personal growth, how things about you that can help you manifest money and wealth. 6 forms of capital. If you're new, make sure you go back and check that out. Matter of fact, man, if you're new, make sure you go back and check out all the previous readings. And to tap in with us, man, make sure you purchase a book. I have the link in the description section, man. The Reading of the Rich and Righteous by Julian Gordon. Go ahead and tap in and get that book, man. This book is going to be life-changing for you, even after this challenge is over. But if you want to get caught up, please check out the previous videos of our readings and also grab the book. With that being said, man, we're going to go ahead and get started, man. Day 37. This is one of my favorite topics out of the book, next to I Am. Today, day 37, we're going to give cash consciousness. Just remember, pay attention, get locked in, because at the end of the reading, I want to make sure y'all document those takeaways. We always want those takeaways at the end of the reading. That lets me know and you know that you got something out of the reading. And it lets other people know who join the page what are some hot topics that they should be looking for when they're reading. All right, man, day 37, let's get it.
And here's the scripture for the day, Luke 16, 1-2. Jesus told his disciples, There was a rich man whose manager was accused of wasting his possessions. So he called him in and asked him, "What is this I hear about you? Give an account of your management." Now, if I looked at some of your bank statements over the past 20, 30 years, and you had to give an account of your management, right, and be able to explain why your net worth is not $50,000 or $100,000 or $250,000, even though you've been working on the corporate plantation or you've been working just as a professional for 10, 20 years, you're going to have to give an account. All the resource that I've given you. Remember, we talked about the 7 types of millionaires, and the first type is an earned a millionaire, right? Meaning that everybody over the course of their lifetime earns $1 million. $25,000 a year, even if you're at minimum wage, $25,000 a year for 40 years is $1 million. So everybody actually earns $1 million. The question is, do we keep it? And what did you do with that $1 million once you actually got it? So we have to give an account, right? We can't just spend frivolously. Thank you, frivolously, right? You can't just spend frivolously and expect to get more. And so we want to be better stewards. We are seeking to be better stewards. So on page 263, the word steward means to manage or look after, especially another's property. This is why stewardship is such a powerful word for us, because we know that our name is not on money. Our name is not on money. This is not ours. The way we know it's not ours, we can't take it once we go, right? So this is not actually ours, but what we are doing is we're being a steward of it while we are here, while we have it. I don't perceive the money in my possession to be mine. Everything I have, so I don't say my money. It's not my money. It's money that I have and that's in my possession that I can use, but it's not my money. Everything I have, including money in my accounts, was given to me, so I consider it to be God's money. The only thing that belongs to me is that which I create, and even with that, all praises are due to God. I am just a steward seeking to invest the money given to me in the ideals, ideas, individuals, and investments that will produce the greatest good. God is the owner, and I run my department here on earth, and I am given a budget based on my department's growth and how good of a steward I have been. So if you want your department to have a greater and higher budget, then you have to demonstrate that you are a greater steward and that you know how to multiply what you have been given. The more you demonstrate that you are a multiplier, right, and that you are a good steward of that which you've been given, the more that will come to you. It's that simple, right? And again, we don't compare our department to other people's departments. All we focus on is ours. In the parable of the talents, one person got 1, the other person got 2, the other person got 5, right? The person who got 2 doubled theirs to 4, the person that got 5 doubled theirs to 10. What God sees is that you doubled it. Whereas the person who had 1 talent buried it, basically put it in a savings account, actually buried it in the dirt, which is even worse than a savings account, right? So there's no return, not even that 0.03% interest, right? This is why that slothful servant is not getting any more, right? So it's not about the size, it's about the growth of the resources that you've been given. So money is known as dead presidents. This is why you always see dead presidents on here, right? The famous lyric rapper Nas says, "I'm out for dead presidents to represent me. Give money out for presidents to represent me." When something is dead, it has no life, circulation, or energy. As stored energy, money is dead. Our role is to resurrect those dead presidents to give them life instead of burying them in a bank. In other words, we give cash consciousness, right? So everybody type, "I resurrect dead presidents." I resurrect dead presidents. Now, I don't want to bring any of these slave masters back, but you know what I'm talking about. I resurrect dead presidents. I give them life. We give it life and intelligence by charging it negatively or positively and putting it in motion in a particular direction, which is the nature of the currency. This is energetic economics, and spiritually rich people give cash consciousness with their investments. Capital doesn't become currency until it is what? In motion. I found that the more I give, the more I receive. Giving is the process of putting something in motion. God banks with me. God is a big bank. God is a big bank. But God banks with me, deposits into me because it knows that it can bank on me. God banks with me because it knows it can bank on me. The reason you give your money to Bank of America or Chase, even though you got to chase your money when you give your money to Chase, right? The reason you give it to, because you think you can bank on them based on them being FDIC insured, right? You feel you can bank on them. That's why you bank with them. God banks with me because God knows that it can bank on me. The better steward I have become, the more money that flows to me and through me. Money has ADHD. Its nature is hyperactive. It wants to be bouncing around the economy from consumer to creator to consumer to creator multiple times in a day. If you make it sit in a bank account too long, it will find a way to escape you. Money is useless unless you use it. When we resurrect money, we lift it up to its highest use possible. Okay, we're lifting money up. This is money in its lowest form. It's not useful at all in this form, except for the liquidity of it to be able to convert it into something else. This is money in its lowest form. Our job is to resurrect this to the highest form possible, right? When we resurrect money, we lift it up to its highest use possible. A Post-it note with $1 million business idea written on it is worth more than a $100 bill with Benjamin Franklin on it. A Post-it note with $1 million idea on it is more valuable than this financial note with Benjamin Franklin's face on it, right? Rather than hoard and hold a $100 bill for your security, it is more valuable to invest that $100 bill into one of the ways to give cash consciousness, which includes transmuting it into ideals, ideas, individuals, and investments that you believe are doing good or God's work. Let's walk through each one now, okay? So I created this visual for you, ways to give cash consciousness. So we have ideals. Your ideals may be youth entrepreneurship, social justice, a nonprofit, your church, right? This is saving the world above here. Below this line is your savings account. So money is not valuable here. We need to use it to quote unquote save the world. Ideas, your business ideas, Kickstarters, GoFundMe. Individuals, your personal growth. So individuals starts with you. Patreon, YouTube Super Chat, local politician, right? Then investments, stock, real estate, cryptocurrency, startup, etc. Okay? So let's walk through them now. First is ideals. Ideals include things that represent your values. They are the heavenly state in our mind. They are the heavenly state in our minds. Some ideals include things like youth entrepreneurship, social justice, gender equality, or saving the environment. Ideals are the least tangible of the four. They are formless like the universe in Genesis 1:2 until an individual, a God on earth, is able to receive the idea as a divine download from God, believe in the idea enough to nurture it, and turn it into an institution that tangibly works towards the original ideal. This is the process of bringing heaven on earth. Sometimes in the beginning stages, the simple act of just channeling money or stored energy towards an ideal through donating is a signal to God and perhaps an individual that the world wants this. Going back to the Nas lyric, I'm out for dead presidents to represent me. When you release money towards ideals you believe in, you are putting your money where your mouth is, and those dead presidents are now representing you. It is harder to attract money to an ideal with the exception of religious institutions. Money tends to be attracted to more tangible forms like ideas, individuals, or investments. Okay, so if there's a cause you believe in and it hasn't got traction yet, like let's just say there's a particular disease that is in, actually, no, I don't want to affirm that. But I'll just use it really quickly. Let's say there's a particular disease that has come up in your family and one person has it and it's rare, but let's say 1 million people have it in the United States and there's just been no traction on it whatsoever. The fact that you are donating to some sort of ideal to solve that lets God know that, yes, we want this solved, or we want to channel energy in this direction, even though there's no solution yet, there's no institution yet, there's no individual that's being a champion yet, but that there's energy starting to go in that direction. All right, that's just an example, but we cross that out and reject any disease in our family. That was just a quick little scenario. Okay, hypothetical. All right, number 2 is ideas. Ideas come out of ideals. The word idea is literally in the word ideals. The visionary starts with an ideal and then receives an idea that may be able to make the ideal into a reality, right? So my ideal is having the world's wealthiest family and making the righteous rich. Now, the idea that has come out of that is the multifamily movement and this Rich and Righteous book. This is making sense, okay? Now the formula starts to take shape in the individual and collective mind. So it's in my mind, and now this vision is also in your mind. These ideas may get translated and refined through conversation or brainstorming on paper and become a business plan. The idea is the route by which the ideal can manifest. Ideas that are stuck between the first dimension, which is thought form of the mind, and second dimension, the flat form of the plan or image, can attract money through donations, investments, commitments, and pre-orders. You can invest in your own business, a friend's business, or ideas you found on crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter or GoFundMe. Okay, so it's easier to attract money to an idea than it is to an ideal, because now we're getting from ethereal, right, to something that's more solid. Now we go into individuals. Number 3. Next is the individual. If you ask any investor in Silicon Valley, they invest in the individual more than the idea. Good ideas are cheap. Everyone has them. They are a dime a dozen. Every idea that comes to you is not meant for you. If you are not meant to create the idea, you are likely meant to be a consumer or early adopter, which still supports the idea's manifestation. You will know an idea is meant for you when you fully believe in the idea and your ability to execute it. You can invest in individuals, including yourself, family, friends, mentees, or an entrepreneur you found locally or online. Perhaps a family member or friend needs money to launch their business, or a mentee needs equipment for their passion. In these cases, you are investing in the individual because you believe in them. The idea is secondary. Platforms like Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon allow you to invest in content creators, and Kiva.org allows you to invest in undercapitalized entrepreneurs in developing countries through microfinancing. Okay, so now it's not just an idea. Now you're investing in the individual who's holding the idea and the ideal, right? So again, we're getting more tangible. Now, number 4, we're talking about an actual investment. Finally, there are investments. Investments are when you are placing money into either items or institutions. Going back to the value holder hierarchy, some of those items could include stocks, precious metals like gold, commodities, collectibles like baseball cards, art, antiques, old school cars, cryptocurrency, land, or real estate. These are essential when you have cash but don't know what to do with it, or you simply want to diversify. We also know that real estate in general appreciates at about 3% on average. Multifamily real estate is one of my favorite and most proven investments. It has been around since the feudal system in Europe from 900 AD, where kings gave land to lords in exchange for loyalty, hence the word landlord. Okay, it is the #1 subscription business model in the entire world. Providing high quality, affordable housing allows me to collect rent revenues that pay down the principal on mortgages and generate monthly cash flow in addition to the appreciation and tax savings. Okay. You can also invest in institutions by donating to nonprofits, buying an equity stake in the early stage businesses you believe in, investing in real estate directly or indirectly through REITs, which are real estate investment trusts, or starting your own institution, whether it be for profit or nonprofit. Never forget that the greatest investment you can make is likely into yourself, your own ideas, institutions, and investments. Usually that manifests as you walking in your God-given purpose. You don't have to outsource value creation to others and then settle for being an employee, consumer, or passive investor. You are a creator too. You cannot hand down a job, but you can pass on a business and equity to the next generation. The stock market is a powerful way to give cash consciousness. It is not considered an investment in an institution, because when you buy stocks post IPO, that money doesn't go to the actual institution. Therefore, when you purchase a stock, you are buying an item that represents a share of the institution. Your co-ownership is a signal of your belief in the institution, the individuals that work there, the idea, and the ideals that the company stands for, but it is an indirect investment. The stock market is a great alternative if you don't have a business you personally own. There are over 30 trillion there are over 30 trillion circulating in the stock market. And over half of Americans own stocks as part of their 401ks and retirement plans. And we know that the S&P 500 has grown by about 4.77% annually over the last 20 years from 2000 to 2020. The key for the rich and righteous is to make sure that the companies you spend money with or invest in are actually moving the world towards the ideals you desire. Investing in the stock of a company that is not in alignment with the world you want to see just to make a quick buck is counterproductive. We must become an intentional and ethical investors. For instance, I would never invest in a defense company, even if I could profit, because I don't believe in war. And this is a critical at this particular time. People say, oh, invest in defense companies and war stocks and make money. No, I do not want to send any energy towards that kind of entity because I don't believe in war. War is not part of my vision or ideals. So I'm not going to go make money or profit off of war. Now, some people might not think of it like that, like, oh, Julian, I'm just get this money, I'm gonna go do good with this money. But you also did bad with the money by actually supporting and sending positive energy, which is your financial capital, right? And currency. You're sending positive energy to something that you don't believe in. So we have to be really, really intentional about how we use this money. Okay. We have to be very intentional about this. Right? All money is not good money. Instead, I was seeking equally great investment. So people say, okay, well, I can make money. Well, how about you just find an equally great investment? So if you know that this defense company stock is going to go up in the midst of war, but you don't believe in war, then it's on you to do your due diligence to find an equally great investment at the same time. Okay? Instead, I was seeking equally great investment that is having a positive impact on the world. Though the money isn't going directly to the company, buying stocks is a signal of my belief. And I would argue that your belief is more powerful form of currency than money. You are giving them your thought energy, even if they don't directly receive your money. Your powerful thought energy is now double-minded because you want a company that is not creating the world you wish to see to win so that you don't lose your money. Okay? Listen to that. When you're giving them your money, let's say you invest in a defense company and you don't believe in war, okay? Now you are invested in them. Now you actually want that defense company stock to go up. You want the defense company, you want the company that is backing the war and profiting off the war to actually be more valuable because you are now invested. And so now you are double-minded, right? Because you want a company that's not creating the world that you wish to see win so that you don't lose your money. See how tricky that gets? This is why when you see divest movements to divest from South Africa, right? So if I don't believe in apartheid, then I have to divest in any entity or organization that is actually doing business there because they are supporting that particular infrastructure and that paradigm and that worldview, right? So we call it divesting. And so I encourage you to actually go look at your stock portfolio. Go look at your 401ks line by line if you can and see what companies you're actually invested in. And do you actually believe in the vision of those companies? Because if you don't, then you have the power to move your hard-earned money, right? That you use the greatest currency in the world, your body and your time, your energy. You use your money to create it. You get to change how that is used, right? While ethical investing may require more research, I believe that there is an abundance of righteous companies that can be more profitable alternatives. It's your life, energy, and a personal decision. So do what feels best for you. However, I challenge you to become more intentional about what you invest in with the goal of being rich and righteous, not just rich. All money is not good money. The value you live are more important than the value you create and capture. The values you live are more important than the value you create and capture. How you get money says more about you than how much money you get. How money says more about you than how much money you get, especially if it's your values. Never go against yourself, especially for money, because that means that money has more power over you than you do over it.
All right. This concludes day 37. Day 37 is officially in the books. What are your takeaways from day 37? Our reading was about giving cash consciousness. And I mentioned in the beginning that this was one of my favorite sections. And one reason it's one of my favorite sections because I was introduced to the word steward. Steward, Steward. And he elaborated on that at the beginning of the reading. We must be good stewards of money. God rewards us with more when we can demonstrate that we are a good steward with what we have, basically management. But like I said, I was introduced to that word, and that's basically what we're doing. We're managing our assets, we're managing our money, we're giving money consciousness, we're putting it in the right vehicle. So this reading was all about giving cash consciousness and the different ways that we can give cash consciousness. And if we're giving cash consciousness, are we being good stewards of money while we're doing so? One reason we want to give cash consciousness because I'm pretty sure we've heard the term cash is trash. Cash is useless unless you use it. We work hard for that paper, but once we get that paper, it's only as good as the things that we use it for and purchase, our things, our cost of living. But beyond that, what else are you doing with the cash? Money is useless unless you use it. Use it to make more money, but don't just have it sit there and not do nothing. How does it benefit you? So yes, Julian elaborated on different ways you can be a good steward of money and give cash consciousness through ideals, meaning like investing in causes, ideas like ideas you may have, businesses, or ideas someone else may have for businesses that you can help and bring to reality. Be a good steward and invest in yourself. Sometimes there's some educational tools or some training you need to pay for to increase your value instead of the cash sitting there not doing nothing to make you a better person. Sometimes just investing in yourself, being a good steward of money. Once again, man, day 37 is officially in the books. Make sure you guys document your takeaways in the reading. If you don't have a book, click the link below, man. Get the book. Go ahead and get the book, man. Day 37 officially in the books, man. See y'all on the next read. For my new people, hope you return for additional readings. And for my regular readers, let's keep going, baby. Salute.